Ground floor perfumery, stationery and leather goods, wigs and haberdashery, kitchenware and food going up. First floor telephones, gents ready-made suits, shirts, socks, ties, hats, underwear and shoes going up. Second floor carpets, travel goods and bedding, materials, soft furnishings, restaurant and shoes going down. Hello everybody. Don't know what happened there. Hi.
Hello, gazers.
Are you well?
Very good.
Good.
Very good. Sorry, I was just looking at my camera in a world of my own, just connecting with our gazers.
Connecting with our gazers. Hello everybody. We are Problematic Gaze. I'm Dr. Lee Arnott.
I'm Dave Moore. Hello, I'm taking my specs off
Get
now.
the specs off. And each episode we take a piece of pop culture from yesteryear and ask ourselves the question, could you get away with it today? Could you get away with it today? And if not, why not? And what does that say about society and culture then and now?
And before we take a deep dive on our chosen topic, we'll look at the news events of the day, we'll look at the TV landscape, and we'll also look at the pop charts, just to put our chosen topic and our chosen year into context.
Very good. Now, in case it wasn't obvious from that little introduction what we're looking at this week, what are we looking at this week, Dave?
We're looking at the classic, beloved UK TV sitcom, Are You Being Served?
Are You Being Served?
Yes.
What's your relationship to Are You Being Served?
I mean, it's from the 70s, isn't it? So, you know, I was a wee babber when it first came on, but obviously repeats and everything.
Well, it ran until the mid-80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably watched it when it was TXing, as we say, in the biz. And obviously, as a kid, I really, really enjoyed it. Yes, because it was quite colourful, quite saucy, and all that kind of thing. What about you?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Well, I remember being devastated when it came to an end, and I cried a bit when it came to an end as a 12-year-old. I loved it so much that in my first year at uni, me and my comedy partner Gareth used to do stand-up together. Hello, Gareth. And we did a dance routine to the theme tune, and it always went down a storm.
Did you?
And we used to finish our set with Dancing Queen, and this was pre-ABBA Gold, so no one was into ABBA at that point, and the whole place used to always erupt in our gigs.
Are you gay?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am.
So I was just double checking.
Yeah, so I loved Are You Being Served? Absolutely loved it. Will this episode stand up to scrutiny? We shall find out. The episode we chose to watch was called Mrs. Slocombe Expects. It's from the 25th of February, 1977. That's 2 weeks after my 4th birthday, this episode had been on.
Yeah, I would have been 3 at this point because you are older than me.
I'd just turned 4.
Okay, fine. I might be 2 then. Who knows?
Before we come to blows, should we cross over to the news desk to see what was happening to some of the events of the UK in 1977?
Let's do it.
Walk across the studio with your legs smashed. Okay, right.
Hi, here we are at the news desk. Okay.
So, 3 days after my 4th birthday, on the 15th of February, as a little present to me, I think, the first Aardman Animations character, Aardman Animations, of course, will do Wallace and Gromit further down the line, but Morph is introduced on the BBC children's television programme Take Heart. I loved Morph.
I love Morph. Do you know who I loved even more?
His friend, his naughty friend.
Chaz.
Yeah, exactly. Chaz.
Yes.
He was proper naughty. He was horrible.
He was horrible to Morph, wasn't he?
Really horrible.
Classic antagonist.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, a bit like you.
Yeah, exactly. I love winding you up.
Horrible for
winding
me.
you up. Yeah. Oh, can I just tell the gazers now about my what I wanted to do the other night? I wanted to go to bed with a nice, well, not with a nice little tipple, but prior to going to bed, I thought, you know what I'd really like now? I'd like a little glass of Disaronno on ice. Went to the liquor cabinet. What did I not find?
There was a tiny bit left in that glass.
That was my Disaronno that I bought from Italy, duty free. And because it's made in Italy, it was dirt cheap.
You can get it in Waitrose, though.
Oh, very middle class of you. Betraying your northern working class roots
Tesco,
there.
to be fair.
Anyway, I'm not bitter that Lee drank the last of the Disaronno, but it's double-decker gate all over again. And last night, actually, you waltzed in, plonked yourself on the sofa with a double-decker, and you went, there's one left.
Yeah. I knew you'd have a face like a slapped arse if I hadn't left one for you. I was just getting myself ready, darling, to celebrate the Independent Podcast Awards. That's why I drank it.
Oh, yes.
You know?
That's coming up, isn't it?
That,
Yeah, that's
coming up.
A week tomorrow.
Yes. So who can say if we're going to be celebrating or commiserating? But I just, I was just getting in the mood.
Yeah.
That's all. Would you begrudge me that?
In next week's episode, what I think we should do is practice our losing faces.
Yes.
Like they do at the Oscars.
Yeah, we should practice our winning faces. The mindset here
Well,
is
yeah,
everything.
we'll do that too. But I don't like like to be too presumptuous.
No.
It's just classic kind of defeatist.
Yes.
Like, don't think about winning because.
And then
it might
hubris is
happen.
think about winning and we're definitely going to win. And then
Yeah.
don't. Ooh, it's a fine line to cross, isn't it? Fine line to
Independent
cross.
Podcast Awards. If new gazers are listening to this, we're up for 3 awards in
Yes,
TV
we
and
are.
film, in
Culture
in
and history.
history. Yes,
Yeah.
now we better get cracking with the history then.
Yeah, keep going.
Anyway, enough about Morph and Chaz. In April, Mike Lee's comedy of manners Abigail's Party opens at the Hampstead Theatre, starring Alison Steadman.
Oh, I mean, what's not to love about Abigail's Party?
Which would later be televised as a TV play.
Yes, it will indeed.
We need to do that one week,
We
don't
should,
we?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Actually, I was watching a little bit of Gavin and Stacey last night with Alison Steadman, and she's just amazing, isn't she?
She is.
So watchable.
Yeah, first lesbian kiss on television belongs to Alison Steadman.
Really?
Yes. Myra Francis, another actor.
Well,
so
there
good
you
up,
go.
Alison.
Well
God love
done.
you. We love you.
Who I once saw sat on Highgate tube station platform, just very quiet and unassuming.
Yes.
I wanted to leap on her and
Yes.
cling to her and tell her
Yeah.
how much I loved her, but I thought, no, because she's just going about her daily
Exactly.
business.
Yeah.
Don't want to disturb her.
Yes, I once came across her in Highgate Woods walking her dog.
Ah.
Yeah, on a fag. Yeah.
Very good.
Again, same thing. I'm not disturbing because it's Alison Steadman and I'm just not.
Exactly. National treasure.
National treasure. Come on the pod. On the 23rd of April, the National Front marchers clash with anti-Nazi protesters in London. And in August, there's also going to be rioting in Birmingham during demonstrations against the National Front because in 1977, the National Front are depressingly riding very high. As we've talked before, punk often gets conflated with the National Front, the skinheads, Union Jacks, which we've seen very recently in this country again.
Well, upon the day of recording this episode, yesterday there was a
The
march.
Unite the Nation rally. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're not fucking uniting me behind your cause. Thanks
No,
very much.
no.
You know.
Okay, let's move on to some happier news. Okay, on the 7th of May, the 22nd Eurovision Song Contest is held in London with Angela Rippon as the presenter. The contest is won by Marie Myriam, representing France, with her song L'Oiseau et l'Enfant,
Oh oui, monsieur.
Oui.
Très bien.
which is, for people who don't know French or speak French like what I do, that means the bird and the child. And the British entry, Lindsay DePaul and Michael Moran's Rock Bottom, takes second place.
Where are we?
Rock Bottom.
Tragedies. We've got them. Yeah. All right, rock bottom.
We are at bottom at the moment, aren't we? But
we're
come
not.
this time next week.
We're
who
rising
knows?
up like a turd to the surface, love. Another classic second place for us there. We are the nation that's got the most second places in Eurovision than any other country. Always the bridesmaid, darling, never the bride.
Did Sonia come second?
Yes, she did.
That's the devil you know.
I
Can't talk about that.
Still can't talk about
Still
that.
too raw.
But I've not forgiven Malta. In June, it's the Queen's Silver Jubilee. The UK celebrates 25 years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign with public holidays, street parties, parades and nationwide celebrations. A royal tour takes the Queen across the UK and the Commonwealth. I bet she was sick as shit by the end of the year.
You know what I mean?
No.
Just waving.
Yeah. Did you have a street party?
Yes, I vaguely remember Street.
We
I don't
did.
really remember that one. I remember the Charles and Di wedding one.
Right.
In 82 was that?
81.
81.
Yeah.
Fine.
One of my earliest memories of the street party for the Queen's Silver Jubilee.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole kick was some really grainy, there's little photos of all of us with our flags and our hats on.
Yeah.
It was massive,
Do you
wasn't
remember
it?
the was it the Golden Jubilee where there was the flotilla going down the Thames?
Yes.
The Queenie was on the boat, wasn't she?
Yes.
Took some American friends who were outside the.
that when it
I think it was
pissing down?
outside the Tate,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely pissing
Yeah,
it
it's
down.
really cold, wasn't
Just
it?
to get a little glimpse of the little tiny speck
Yeah.
of Queenie
Yeah.
going across.
Yeah. I think when's Golden? Because I think the
That's
Golden
50th.
one. Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
Golden one was actually 10 years early. I think that's the 2012 one. That's the same year as the Olympics. That's when it was pitted. Because I went to the Golden one and was in Hyde Park and watching the concert, the free concert. And when she appeared on stage with Charles on the big screen, it was like a religious moment. Honestly, it was incredible.
Okay, so speaking of the Queen's Silver Jubilee, a month before that, the Sex Pistols released God Save the Queen on the 27th of May. The punk anthem caused national controversy. The BBC banned it, but it still reached number 2 in the charts. It was widely seen as a cultural rebellion against the establishment.
Wow, absolutely. And spoke to a lot of people who weren't getting in on the party. God Save the Queen, the fascist regime, first lyrics. It was a moment in time, I guess.
Yes,
you
we've
know.
talked quite extensively about the Sex Pistols, haven't we, in
Yes.
the past?
They've already been dropped earlier in the year by their record label for being too contentious for kicking off at an airport and for the fuck on television controversy.
Yes.
So they're very much a hot potato, literally being fast tracked because nobody wants to deal with them. But yeah, this was a moment. And of course, the BBC tries to ban it. And what does it do? Just like Frankie and Relax.
Yes,
Everyone
absolutely.
says, fuck you, we're going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people buying that record in 1977. There must have been millions of people buying it. You know, it wasn't no mean feat to get to number 2.
No,
number 1.
absolutely.
So, anyway, on the 11th of July, Gay News, the weekly newspaper, is found guilty of blasphemous libel in a case brought on behalf of Mary Whitehouse's National Viewers and Listeners Association. Basically, they publish a poem, not a very good poem by all accounts, in which Jesus on the cross has an affair. I'm not quite sure how has an affair on the cross. Anyway, with a Roman centurion, and that was it. And Mary Whitehouse kicks off because obviously she is the guardian and moral arbiter of the country. I'm sorry, but with the greatest respect.
Yeah, come on, Mary.
It's the first such prosecution since 1921 and will be the last such prosecution before the Act is finally abolished in 2008.
So she lost then?
No, the Gay News is found guilty.
Oh, yes,
They're
of
found
course.
guilty.
Sorry, I should really listen to what you're saying.
Yeah, glazing over.
Apologies for that. Anyway, but no, that's really interesting though. Blasphemous libel.
Yeah. What always amazed me at Mary Whitehouse is she's not officially appointed by anybody.
No.
She's got this grassroots organisation that, and eventually BBC starts to listen to her, ITV not so much because they can pretty much do what they want. But it's like, hold on a second, you don't speak for everybody.
Who made Mary the moral guardian of the country?
Who put 50 pence in Mary?
Yeah.
You know, it's like give over.
Okay, some sad news. On the 16th of September, rock star Mark Bolan, pioneer of the glam rock movement at the start of the 70s with T-Rex, is killed in a car crash in Barnes, North London.
Yeah.
He's only 29.
Gosh.
His girlfriend, Gloria Jones, who was driving the car, is seriously injured.
Gosh. Yeah. I mean, that was a shocker. My mother was devastated.
Yeah. He was quite a sexy Mark Bolan, wasn't he?
It was. I mean, Gloria Jones as well. She was the woman who sang the original Tainted Love.
Really?
Yeah, the first version. She was a bit of a name. She's been in Hair and stuff like that, you know.
Oh gosh, that's going to live with you for the rest of your life, isn't it?
Really? Gosh. On Christmas Day, English-born comedian and silent film legend Sir Charlie Chaplin dies aged 88 of a stroke at his home in Cossières-sur-Vevey in Switzerland. Not just you could do the French, darling.
Oh.
Yeah, Chucky Chaps.
Chucky Chaps gone. Chucky Chaps gone. Pioneer, wasn't he?
Really.
And then on the 27th of December, the much acclaimed Star Wars film, which has been a massive hit in the United States, opens on British cinema screens.
Wow,
With queues
gosh.
around the block.
Yes, yeah. And again, it shows, remember that time when you'd have to wait for months for film in
Yes.
America to come over to the UK. So you get this massive buzz about it.
Yeah.
There's a funny story of the then Doctor Who producer and a script editor going to watch Star Wars. It must be January 1978.
Yeah.
And that first shot of that huge spaceship going
Yeah.
the producer just turned to his script writer and went, we're fucked, aren't we? What the fucking hell are we supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, it was a shock for everybody, wasn't it? This just like new filming technique.
Yeah.
Shot in Elstree.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Elstree where they filmed The Avengers, which I said a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah.
Well, that was the news of
Yeah.
1977.
Yes, some of it, yes.
Shall we have a look at the top TV shows of the year?
Let's do it.
Okay, number 10, Coronation Street. Yeah, it's
Match.
not so riding high in the ratings at this point.
No, but I think there's a lot of other stuff going on. So, number 9, The Benny Hill Show.
Oh, that's ripe for a picking, isn't it?
A lot of them have just reappeared on YouTube, darling.
Have
So
they?
we absolutely need to get Benny Hill out of the closet.
I used to love Benny Hill.
So did I.
Oh.
Loved it.
I think at the time, probably the sauciness element of it passed us by. So we would just kind of, as kids, watching the slapstick element of it.
Yes.
Number 8 is This Is Your Life.
Mm-hmm. A
Yes.
huge ratings juggernaut.
Yes, I just watched last night again. You know these silly Channel 5 things? It's like the most embarrassing moments in TV or the cringiest moments in TV. There was This Is Your Life segment on Angie Dickinson.
Okay.
So the American actress Angie Dickinson.
Yeah.
And they came on in the American version and said, Angie Dickinson, this is your life. She went, oh, fuck off, I'm not doing it.
Good for her.
I'm not doing it.
Good for
because
her.
they'd lined up all these kind of like really famous film stars that she co-starred alongside, and later her reasoning for not doing it was like, well, we should be celebrating them because they're far bigger film stars than I am. I'm not going to sit there while everybody just kind of fawns over me. And it was the first time in history that a star had refused to do it.
Right.
Like, once they'd been ambushed. And all the stars were waiting for her in the studio.
Just like,
nah, not doing it.
good for you, Angie.
Good for you, Angie.
Number 7, we have George and Mildred.
Oh,
I mean, legends.
you for choice.
Which, of course, is a spin-off to Man About the House. And I also see number 15 of the year is Robin's Nest, which is the other spin-off from Man About the House. So,
well, it was huge then, wasn't it? There,
yeah, it was,
back then.
definitely.
Yeah, listen to our Man About the House episode.
Very early on, we did Man About the House. Yeah.
In our amateur phase.
Yes. Haven't quite got the imperial phase yet.
Yeah. Okay, number 6 is the Generation Game. Now, who's presenting the Generation Game at this point, do we think?
I think it might still be Bruce at this point. Let me just check that.
Fact-checking department.
Fact-checking department.
I'll cut it out if it's not right.
Yeah,
Don't
fine.
worry.
No, well, it's either Bruce or Larry, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, don't ask me the fucking question, Dave.
You're the fountain of all knowledge. I rely on you. Although I do have to sometimes cut out some of your infused references once I'm editing it, and I'm like, I'm just going to Google that. Make sure. Oh no, it's not right. Okay, let's just cut that segment out. But I mean, normally you are very good.
I can't be infallible.
Can't do everything.
I'm not a machine.
Exactly.
I'm not. If you wanted perfection, you'd have to get AI.
Exactly.
Not too late to get water.
Okay, number 6 is Sale of the Century.
That's number 5, actually. Can't read numbers. You can't do numbers.
Can't do numbers.
Can't do numbers.
Sorry. Number 5 is Sale of the Century. Is that live from Norwich?
Yes, it is. Just random. I can't believe that's so huge.
Yeah.
You know, it was so cheap. It was so cheap.
Boring, wasn't it?
I don't think it was boring. It's just cheap.
Okay.
Number 4, the big movie of the year is You Only Live Twice. That's the Sean Connery Bond, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Fact-checking
Nancy
department.
Sinatra theme tune. It's Sean Connery.
Okay.
One set in Japan.
Oh,
One written by Roald Dahl.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Is that when James Bond gets dressed up as a Japanese person?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yes.
it is. Crashing on.
Crash on.
Very hairy Japanese person.
Okay, number 3 is the Jubilee Royal Variety Performance. We've already talked about the Queen's Jubilee.
Yes. Yeah.
Set up in her honour.
Yes, and this is the Royal Variety Show of the year, clearly. And number 2 is the Morecambe and Wise Christmas Show, which surprisingly is not number 1, because number 1 is...
Mike Yarwood's Christmas.
Yes.
Now, we did talk about Mike Yarwood, not in our episode with
No, we
Michael
did.
and Hilary Whitehall.
Yes. But we had a good chat with them afterwards. Yeah, and Mike Yarwood's name was mentioned because he talked about his stage fright, which effectively ruined his career. And Hilary had worked with him, hadn't she?
Yes, she had.
And said that by that stage he was drinking in order to try and get him on stage. Bless him, gosh. But anyway, he's riding high at this point.
Yeah, he was great. I love Mike Yarwood. He
I
was
was never
great.
really a huge fan.
Yeah, he had his own show. I remember Mum
Yes.
and Dad watching it and
Yeah.
sat there. He always used to do the impressions of Prince Charles.
That's right, with the big ears. Yeah.
That's about all I remember of it.
Yes, well, you were only 3 at the time, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay, well, that was the top 10. No surprises there, really, I don't think.
No.
Should we have a look at the singles charts for the week of the 20th of February 1977, when this episode of Are You Being Served was broadcast?
Let's do it. Confidence levels?
I'm not really confident.
We always talk about the pinnacle of your kind of music and chart interest and knowledge.
Yeah.
Ours kind of peaks around about the 86, 87 towards the
I think maybe
1990
a bit
mark,
earlier
don't
for
we?
me. Probably about 83,
Right.
86,
Okay.
87 is when we know everything.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit later
Right.
because I had like that period in the Middle East where
Did you know David used to live in the Middle East for a bit, everybody?
during the mid-80s. So they didn't have charts there.
No, they didn't have a chance.
No, they just had songs on the radio. So when I came back, kind of 87, 88-ish, that was my chart peak.
Right.
What I'm trying to say
absorb it all in.
is that our confidence levels might be quite low in 1977, but for some of our gazers, this might be their peak.
Yes, what are you trying to say to the older listeners?
No, not necessarily older. Well, by default, they'll be a little bit older than us,
Yes,
won't
of course.
they?
It can't be younger.
No.
Well, they could.
Exactly. Oh my God, should we just get on with
Stop.
it?
Yeah.
Let's stop. So,
However, I think there's going to be a lot of memories sparked by this chart.
okay.
I think.
You've just debunked everything I've said now.
Have I? Never mind. For example, number 20, Sound and Vision, David Bowie.
Yeah.
Absolutely know this song, and it takes me back to being 4 years old. Quite incredible, actually. Good,
Great.
keep going.
I think the wheels are starting to come off this episode. Okay, number 19, Suspicion, Elvis Presley.
Don't know it. No Elvis, obviously.
Let's whiz through this.
Number
because-
18, Torn Between Two Lovers. I know this
And
one.
the one you
Mary
left
McGregor.
behind.
Yeah.
Okay, number 17 is Baby I Know by the Rubettes.
That's him. Number 16, They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Racing car.
Was that a film, They Shoot Horses, Don't They?
Sounds like a film. Vague, ringing a vague filmic bell.
Yeah, research department, come on. Is it me?
Yes.
Yes, number 15, Car Wash, Rolls Royce. Classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Absolutely.
Number 14, Isn't She Lovely? David Parton. Isn't she lovely? We know that one?
Yeah, that was Stevie Wonder.
Oh, unless it's a cover.
Must be a cover. Okay, fact-checking
We'll
department.
never know. We'll never know.
Okay, Stone Cold here.
Yeah.
Number 13, Daddy Cool, Boney M.
Love a bit of Boney M. Love a bit of Boney M.
You said that you're starting to become a bit of a daddy.
All right. Yes, I am. Once I hit a certain age, I seem to have become a daddy on the gay dating scene. I've gone from a twink to a twunk, and now I'm
And a twank.
crossed. Thank you. I appear to have crossed into the threshold of daddyhood. So I'm embracing it.
Okay, well, hence the
Embracing it.
moustache. Yeah.
The daddy tash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daddy Tash.
Daddy.
Okay, go on, carry on.
Although it
quick.
does freak me out when someone says daddy and it's like,
Who, me?
who are you talking to, young man?
What? Speaking French again.
Oh, you're very good. Number 12, what can I say?
Well, what can you
What can I
say?
say? Boss Skanks.
Skags. Number 11, Romeo, Mr. Big. That's what they call you, innit? Mr. Big Daddy.
Mr. Boo, stop it. I think you're entertaining yourself.
I am. I'm tickling myself
Hey,
today.
Big Daddy. And I'm not talking about the old wrestler at this time.
Hey, Shirley. Shirley Crabtree. Mr. Big,
Big
Daddy.
Daddy.
Oh, that could be our grinder profile.
Oh, dear. Can we crash on, please? Number 10. This is Tomorrow, Brian Ferry.
He used to quite fancy Brian Ferry.
Yeah, I did as well. But
Yeah.
I don't know when you see him now.
No.
No, I mean, even when you look back on those
Oh, I see what
footage
you mean.
of
I
then,
thought you meant how he looks now.
No.
Oh, hey,
Quite
sorry.
ageist.
Big Daddy Brian. Okay, number 9, Sideshow by Barry Biggs.
Got bigs going.
Yeah.
Big things going on. Number 8, Sing Me by the Brothers.
Sing me like one of your French girls. Okay, come on. Right, let's gather our thoughts.
How are your thoughts?
Number 7, Jack in the Box Moments.
Don't know it.
Just a Jack in the Box.
That's Cloda Rogers. That's a Eurovision entry from
Okay.
1968 or 69, I think.
I bow to you.
Yeah. Number 6, I Love to Love This.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, yeah, very French today, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's Chanson d'amour, Manhattan Transfer.
Yeah. Da-da-da-da.
And I remember doing this as a 4-year-old, going, ra-da-da-da-da, and doing Know Me, Know You by ABBA. So yes, I am a puff.
Okay, let's move on. Number 5, Don't Leave Me This Way. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Classic. Absolute classic.
Is that the original?
I
And
can't,
then-
about this time, Thelma Houston's done her version as well. At number 4, another classic, Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights by Heatwave. Love that song.
Number 3, Don't Give Up On Us by David Soul.
Yeah. My friend Jack's had a very funny story about David Soul, but I won't go into it. It involves meeting at a hotel bar
Oh.
and then somebody crying, and it wasn't Jack's.
Say no more.
Number 2, Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. Julie Covington.
Mhm.
Obviously not the best version.
No,
Wow.
that's Madonna.
No, it's Karen Carpenter. We've discussed this already.
Oh, yes, I bow to you.
Thank you.
My God. We are gay, aren't we?
We're totally gay.
We're really gay. Okay, number 1. Da-da-da-da-da. When I Need You.
Bit of Leo.
Something I sing to you all the time. Leo Sayer. Now, Leo Sayer was very popular, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he
he
had
was.
several number ones,
He
I
did.
think, fact-checking department.
He did, I think.
But all I can remember of him when he was like through a wobbly in the Big Brother house and tried to climb
Yeah.
over the fence.
Yeah, me
and then
too.
it just took the shine off Leo Sayer
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. Lovely voice.
Mhm.
I remember at the time, but I remember as a kid just finding him really irritating.
Didn't he have a show on BBC One?
Not sure. I just would never have been anywhere near it because he used
Right.
to irritate me as a child. He just irritated me. I don't know why. I had a real aversion to Leo Sayer.
Was it a squeaky voice?
I don't know. I quite liked that chart. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, it was
actually.
good.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was good. Should we take a break?
Let's take a break before we kill each other.
to the matter in hand. Dave, would you like to tell us a little bit about Are You Being Served?
I will. So Are You Being Served is a British television sitcom that was broadcast from 1972 to 1985. It was created and written by David Croft and Jeremy Lloyd. Croft also served as executive producer and director. The series starred Molly Sugden, Trevor Bannister, Frank Thornton, John Inman, Wendy Richard, Arthur Bruff, Nicholas Smith, Larry Martin, Harold Bennett and Arthur English. Set in London, the show follows the misadventures and mishaps of staff and their regular rotating series of customers at the retail ladies and gentlemen's clothing department in the flagship department store of a fictional chain called Grace Brothers. The sitcom proved a ratings hit in the UK and gained international recognition when broadcast across several English-speaking countries including Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Ireland and the United States. So, yes, very popular abroad as well was Are You Being Served, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Like a lot of British exports at this time, Benny Hill, Mind Your Language, all those kind of sitcoms became very big internationally.
Right.
Shall I tell you what happened in this episode?
Just tell us again when this was broadcast.
February 1977. And this episode was the first episode of Series 5.
Okay.
It's called Mrs. Slocombe Expects.
Mm-hmm.
And in this episode, someone is expecting a bundle of joy in the Slocombe household. Have no worry, it's not Mrs. Slocombe herself, but her pussy, who clearly sounds like a bit of a goer. Meanwhile, back at the store, Mr. Grace has a new idea of using reverse psychology for pushing up sales at the staff must trial. Miss Brahms gets her fur on, while Mr. Humphries is free in a leather outfit that has to be seen to be believed. Now, we will preface this with everything with, this is not a very good episode, is it? And 2 weeks ago, I watched an episode of Being Served that literally had me roaring with laughter. So I thought, great, this is a great one to do. But this was a bit of a dud, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, because I haven't watched huge amounts of Are You Being Served over the years. So I was actually quite looking forward to sitting down and watching it, thinking back to my childhood self, who thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And I've never had the wind taken out of my sails so quickly.
Yeah.
It was... Well, we watched it with our friend Lucy, didn't we? Lucy of the internet department, marketing.
Yes, yeah.
Hello, Lucy. And she said, this is a little bit GCSE TV writing, isn't it?
Contrarily, your husband loved it.
Yes. Which, you know, David Croft and Jeremy Lloyd have got real good writing calibre, haven't they?
Yes,
you know, between them, there's Dad's Army and there's A Low, A Low. So,
A ton of stuff.
Really good. But this did just seem as though they had a script to write, they had a quote to meet. And I don't want to disparage things too much because we do like to elevate and celebrate. But this one was quite difficult to like.
Yeah. And as I said, 2 weeks ago, I'd watched an episode that had me literally roaring with laughter. You know, luck of the draw. Mm-hmm. But what was interesting, the version I watched, which was on Now TV, it was rated PG for adult themes.
Oh,
I mean, we can see what the adult themes are.
Yeah, so it's also on UK Gold in the UK. So if you've got that catch-up service, you can access it there.
Yeah. It opens up, we see two Mrs. Mops. And you don't see Mrs. Mops anymore. Mrs. Mops were ladies of a certain age who were cleaning ladies. And they'd have the hairnets on, the jackets, the overalls, the wrinkle stockings, the hair, probably hair and curlers actually. And they're just very much...
Quite Nora Batty-esque.
Quite Nora Batty-esque. And then Mr. Harmon, who's like the janitor caretaker, comes in and there's a conversation with them about, you know, the generation don't have any pride in their work anymore, which seems to be a common theme, doesn't it, among older characters.
It felt very kind of, again, we always refer back to our Alf Garnett episode, don't we?
Yeah.
Of, things like what they used to be. People don't have any pride, like you say, in their work. That work ethic seems to have disappeared in Britain.
Yeah. And speaking of things that have disappeared, department stores. We briefly have a side swerve about a department store because this Grace Brothers setup very much feels like something which no longer exists in most places in this country. And the department stores were huge. They were part of everyday life. Even like a small town, my hometown, 14,000 people, still has a little department store of its own. Where I live in Streatham, there's one of the country's first department stores. In Brixton, we have the country's first purpose-built department store, which still stands.
Right.
So they're huge things, but very much they are not so much a way of life that they used to be. And didn't it feel kind of old-fashioned, this idea that you'd walk into this place and there'd be all these different departments with people dedicated to, you know, serving that particular thing, Miss Brahms and Mrs. Slocombe on the female lingerie and women's wear. And department stores have a long, long history. They go back to, 7th, the 18th century, basically. And there's a gazette written in 1809 who talks about a shop called Harding, Howell and Co., which was on Pall Mall in London. And basically, they're filled with items of great taste. So you have furs, you have all this stuff. And they're designed for women, middle class and upper class women, to be able to go, have an experience. They are not spaces for working class people to go in. And we get a hint of the class divide in this episode. But also, as they become huge, they really start to fucking exploit the working classes, to the point where Whiteley's in West London, when it opens, its staff are expected to work from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. in the evening. They're not allowed to sit down all day. Right. So much so that in 1899, there's a Seats for Shop Assistants Act passed in Parliament because they're treated like shit. You know, the working classes are just put in there just as fodder. There's a story of a woman who killed herself because she used to get these horrific headaches because she had to stand for 11 hours every single day. Whiteley insisted his staff lived in the department store as well, gave them shitty accommodation. So they're really exploitative. But for the middle classes and the upper classes, they become this place where shopping becomes an experience. At the beginning of the 20th century is when you start to get displays, and window displays become famous. Of course, Harrods is the big one.
Yes.
So they've got a long... Yeah, absolutely. John Lewis really starts as a drapery store, I think. So they've got a long, long history of which this episode is situated in. I thought the class stuff was really interesting, actually. So at the beginning, Mr... What's his called with the big ears? I can't remember his name. Anyway, that character, who's the kind of floor manager, the store manager, Mr. Rumbold.
That's right, yes.
Has organised a meeting for them at 8:30 in the morning. He expects the staff to be there. It's snowing outside and nobody can get there. The cast come in and it just got this sense that you'll do what you're told.
Yes.
You know, these are the hours you've got to do. You've got to be here at stupid o'clock because we're going to have this meeting. And anybody who's worked in this environment will fully understand the power those middle managers have. But in this setting, it's very much he's middle class and the workers, apart from Captain Peacock, are lower class. They're working classes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say, you say that department stores declined. I mean, we do still have department stores, aren't we?
Yes,
but they're kind of... the John Lewis being the main one, but we always hear about how John Lewis is kind of struggling to keep its head above water. The likes of the Harrods and the Selfridges and the Fenwicks are kind of the reserve of the middle class, aren't they? To a certain extent.
Very
not exclusively,
so.
but...
I mean, look at Debenhams. Debenhams was the longest running. Debenhams opened in 1778. And closed in 2021, which was the longest trading British retail outlet operation. So, but closed, So they are struggling. I suppose the big London ones will probably always be there, I guess.
Well, it attracts the tourists as well as the kind of... But the working elites of London.
Yes, But this did feel like a bygone age. And it's telling that the one in Streatham is now all Wetherspoons, which kind of, I think, is a bit of a commentary on where they've gone. Okay, one of the problematic elements of Are You Being Served is Mr. Humphries. Can we talk about Mr. Humphries?
Talk about John Inman plays Mr. Humphries. Do you know what I felt about, just before we talk about John Inman, is I felt as though the catchphrases of Are You Being Served have outlived the actual programme of Are You Being Served? Yeah. So John Inman, very camp, very fey, the butt of jokes, camp innuendo, insinuating that he's gay but not explicitly saying that he's gay.
Well, I mean, at one point, I think it's Captain Peacock says, "Men, we need you." And he says, "Well, don't look at me. I'm not a man." And it's a tricky character, isn't it? Because I find him really funny. But one of the few representations of gay men on telly at the time, he's very much there as the butt of the joke. He's not there to further gay rights. He's not there to offer any kind of sympathetic or to humanise the gay experience. He's there just to be laughed at. And what happens in this episode is... But again, it's funny. It's problematic because it's funny, but he gets told to go and choose something out of the stock room to disguise himself as... They're asked to disguise himself as clients, as customers, to try and get more sales. And he comes out in this outrageous leather outfit, and he says, "I just wanted to look like the man on the street." He says, "I just want to look like the average man on the street." And it's like, fucking hell. And he's got this motorbike helmet on. And it's funny when he appears. What I did like was, even though he's clearly gay, Mr. Lucas and Captain Peacock, I don't have a problem with him.
No.
At all.
But it's almost as though it's not even noticed.
Yes.
You know, he's come as a stereotypical Leatherman.
Yes. But even in the scene in the canteen, he makes some comment because Mrs. Slocombe, Cat's pregnant. There's a whole thing about, is it Mrs. Slocombe who's pregnant? Blah,
Yes,
blah, blah.
her pussy.
Yeah, the whole pussy thing. We'll come to that in a second.
Yeah.
The problematic pussy of Are You Being Served? Again, funny.
Yeah.
Somebody asks, well, what do you want as a kid? He says, I want one of each, half and half. And he says, oh, I know something about that, you know. And his colleagues don't even flicker. They're just like, this is Mr. Humphries, you know, which I thought was actually quite nice. So he comes out in his leather. This customer comes down the stairs and starts to order some clothes, cashmere jumper, fedora hat, you know, silk square, blah, blah, blah. And Mr. Humphries' catchphrase to try and get the guy to buy more stuff is something, oh, I wish I could afford that, you know. Anyway, it turns out that this customer is also gay and propositions Mr. Humphries. And this is the big problem, because Mr. Humphries then, as a character, immediately shies away from it.
He backs away, doesn't he? And seems shocked that this man is essentially coming on to him and inviting him back to his flat for a drink.
Yes, he's not allowed to be sexual at all. So not only do you have this gay character who's the butt of all the jokes, he's completely desexualized for an audience that could not handle the idea of
two men going back to a flat together.
And two men fucking.
Yeah.
You know, it's beyond the pale. So is one of the big problems with Mr. Humphries is he's desexualized. And also he's this one representative of a very camp, which was the only representative you saw of gayness on TV back at this time.
It's the inoffensive image of a gay man, isn't it?
Yeah. He's the same as Dick Emery. It's the same as Larry Grayson, you know. And what we'll see, we've discussed before, is that the gay scene turns away from this camp and goes towards the butch to try and push back against this. But Mr. Humphries is a deeply problematic character, but funny.
But funny. Yeah, I mean, the catchphrase, I'm free.
Yeah.
People say that even now, don't they? And I'm sure a lot of people don't even know where it's come from.
Absolutely. And there's a whole sequence in this episode of them all saying, are you free, Mrs. Slocombe? And it actually builds up to quite a nice, playing on its own kind of mythos by this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really tricky one, Mr. Humphries, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But I mean, what I would say about Mr. Humphries is he kind of, apart from Mr. Peacock, he kind of stands out as the leading male figure in this.
Yeah.
Now, there were a lot of people in this. I mean, I don't know, Are You Being Served hugely well? It's kind of sits more in my nostalgic memory. But a lot of the older characters just seemed a little bit interchangeable. There just seemed to be any kind of distinguishing characters about them, apart from they're all pretty posh.
Yes.
And they were all, obviously, because they're male, it's a higher status than women in it.
Yes.
So it was only really Mr. Humphries and Mr. Peacock who stood out to me.
Yes.
Shall we talk about the ladies?
Let's talk about the ladies, because I mean, there's Mrs. Slocombe and there's Miss Brahms.
Yeah, Miss Brahms, first of all. Wendy Richard, yes, who had achieved some success in other films and things.
Yeah, she was a bit of
a,
in the 60s. She had some singles. She did record music. She was a bit of a singer. She was...
Come Outside, that was one of them, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so. I think you're right, yeah. And beautiful woman,
yes.
You know, she's stunning.
Woman. Yes. Subsequently went on to play Pauline in EastEnders.
Yeah, it was very nice, apparently, wasn't she? You worked with her?
I did work with her, yes. She was nice. She handed out bottles of champagne to everybody at Christmas. That's what I remember about her.
That's nice. Didn't have to do that.
From the runners to everybody else. She incorporated everybody, basically, which is a really nice touch, I thought, about her. Yeah, so she comes out and she's kind of there as, and this is one of the issues that I had, not issues I had with it, because it's of its days. You can't say, I've got a problem with that.
Yeah.
But there was very much saucy seaside postcard humour to this, wasn't there?
Very much so.
With Miss Brahms, in this episode in particular, having to get dressed up as a kind of higher class woman, but comes across as very kind of racy, very low cut dress, boobs on display, stockings and suspenders, cigarette in cigarette holder kind of vibe.
The other characters do the stripper theme when she comes out.
Yes. So there was that. And then there was Mr. Grace, who's obviously the owner of the store, very old, in his kind of like 80s, or portrayed to be in his 80s, although he was a bit younger at the time. But he comes out with his nurse, who obviously looks after him on a day-to-day basis, dressed in a saucy nurse's outfit. And then we've got Helga the au pair, who's one of the customers, who unveils her coats, to have this very kind of skimpy
Hot
jumpsuit
pantsuit on.
Yeah. So there is that element of the same as Benny Hill vibe,
Absolutely.
Carry On vibe to it, which could be seen as, well, it was exploitative for women at the time.
It totally was.
But very much at the time.
But remember, even as a kid, I remember, because Mr. Grace had a different nurse each week. That was one of the gags. And she was always dressed in this kind of slutty nurse that you get from Amazon these days. And even as a kid, I was like, that's a bit horrible, actually. My 5-year-old self was a bit like, ooh, that's a bit creepy.
It was a bit Hugh Hefnery, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just all a little bit. But it's very much, I mean, Miss Brahms is there for the TNA factor.
Yeah.
You know, she's often put in this position where she's got her boobs out, or she's got her, she's flashing a suspender belt and stuff. But they mention au pairs twice in this episode before the au pair girl character comes out unrelated, So there's obviously a thing in the air about au pairs, these young girls who got a bit of a saucy reputation. But yeah, there's very much, but as you say, of its time, and watching it today, clearly problematic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That coupled with I'm obviously, we're kind of nitpicking a little, but there was Trevor Bannister's character, Mr. Lucas, does make a joke about the size of Molly Sugden. So it's kind of like a little sizist joke in there aimed at women. Yeah.
You could argue that Mr. Rumbold often gets jokes criticised about his ear size, which is fair enough, but very much the female characters talked about in a way that the male characters are not, as is the want of 1970s sitcoms. Yeah. Mrs. Slocombe.
I'm glad we saved this kind of last, because for me, Mrs. Slocombe makes this show. Molly Sugden's performance and the character Mrs. Slocombe.
Yes.
It just, whenever I just wait for her to start talking, basically.
Yeah, because she's going to pull it out of the bag, isn't she? And she embodies this tragedy, if you like, of somebody who's working class, who wants to be better than they are, but stuck in this job in a shop, and she says she's trying so hard to be proper and correct.
With pink hair this week.
And that was it. Her hair was always what colour's she going to have? Yeah. And I'm sorry, but I do find Mrs. Slocombe pussy jokes, I find them really funny.
But still, it like injects an uncontrollable silliness into you, doesn't it? Whenever you hear it.
It's so puerile.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah. But I find it funny.
Yeah, I do. So, I don't think we should be ashamed of that at all.
We shouldn't be ashamed of pussy, darling.
No, exactly.
So the central she talks about, she comes in and she she talks about her cat. Her cat's at home, about to have kittens, hence the title Mrs. Slocombe Expects. And she comes into the central heating broke down. I had to light the oven and hold my pussy in front of it. It's just ridiculous.
It's silly. It's so silly.
It's so silly.
And I'm sure some people might take offence to the P word being used as a vehicle of humour.
Yeah.
But you know what? We are the problematic gays. I don't care.
I'm leaning into the
problematic. Because I think it's funny.
Yeah. And this is probably why the PG rating is their adult themes. So there's a whole scene anyway where they're in the canteen. So we have Mrs. Slocombe talking to Miss Brahms about the expecting cat, and then the three other characters sitting beside them clearly thinking that Mrs. Slocombe's talking about that she's pregnant.
Yeah. How old is Mrs. Slocombe at this point? It's probably mid-50s.
Yeah, it must be mid-50s. Yeah. Or she's probably, because it's 1970s, she's probably only 28.
Yeah.
Miss Brahms says, when's the happy adventures? It could be any day now. The funny thing is it doesn't show.
Yes. Who's the father?
And Miss Brahms says, it's a pity you haven't been so careful and all. And Mrs. Slocombe says, well, now that I've got over the first shock, I'm quite looking forward to it. You don't know who the father is? Well, yes and no. She says, I suspect it happened on my birthday. I came back from the pub after a few too many. I didn't shut the front door properly. I think he lives with that woman in the next house. Miss Brahms, he's ginger, isn't he? Yes, and that. She says, no, he's Burmese. His name is Wang Ting. And it's like, we know where it's going.
Yes.
And to the script's credit, it doesn't try and keep that going for any much longer.
No. No, that was one of the funny parts of it.
Mr. Humphries says, are you hoping for a boy or a girl? And Mrs. Slocombe says, half and half. And Mr. Humphries says, well, that happens in the best of families, doesn't it? And she says, I can find good homes for 6, but any after that will have to be drowned in a bucket. And then they realise perhaps she's not talking about that she's pregnant.
It's funny. There was one cringy moment where ultimately what happens is she has to smuggle her pussy into the department store because the boss won't give her any time off to attend to her at the birthing of the kittens. So it gets smuggled in a tier.
Yes.
cue some kind of visual slapstick gags that weren't particularly funny.
Yeah.
But one of the cleaners,
Mr. Harmon.
yes, Mr. Harmon, does say the kittens are being born. And she says, oh, that's good news. And he says, not really, they look half Chinese to me.
Yes.
Essentially saying, well, I wouldn't be too happy because they look half Chinese,
Yes.
which is a little bit
Of course, it's just, yeah. Of
racist.
course. Yes, well, you know, at the same time as this is broadcast, we've got a Doctor Who story with got lots of actors in yellowface, so
Yeah.
it's still, you know,
Still
of
going
its
on.
time.
Yeah, still of its time.
I mean, I haven't got anything else to say about this episode of Are You Being Served? I was a little bit disappointed with it.
Yes, but I think what we've managed to do is celebrate the positives
Yeah.
of Are You Being Served?
Yeah.
What we love about it. We've highlighted some problematic elements of it.
Yes.
So even though the source material might not have been representative of the series as a whole, I think we've done Are You Being Served justice.
Yeah. Yes, I think so as well.
Yeah.
What would you give this episode out of 10?
Okay, this episode. But okay, what I'm going to do is kind of merge my feelings on this episode with my feelings on Are You Being Served as a whole.
Yes.
And I'm going to give it 6 mink coats out of 10.
Right. I'd probably do the same because I'd give this episode like 3 or 4. But actually, I've got a soft spot for the show as a whole. And then I watched the episode 2 weeks ago. It's funny. So I'm going to give it 7 pussies out of 10. And they'll be thankful for that, to be honest. Be grateful for that.
So that was Are You Being Served? What are we going to be talking about next week, Dr. Lee?
Well, next week, we've got one of the big ones, darling. It's one of the big hitters. We're taking the Telly TARDIS forward to 2011 to look at a show I know we've talked about before, Game of Thrones, darling. We're bringing out the big guns. It's dragons, it's boobs, it's lots of men in leather. It's mystical creatures and family sagas and Machiavellian twists and turns. As we look at Game of Thrones, episode 1, I'm quite excited about that.
You forgot to say, and lots of blood and gore and violence.
And that as well, clearly, yes. All of the above. Buckle up, everybody.
Fabulous. I shall be looking forward to seeing a lot of old friends. Probably quite a few friends that we'd forgotten existed because they all died.
Absolutely.
So until next week, where it will be the eve of the Independent Podcast Awards.
Yes.
So we might be all over dither next week. You never know.
dither.
Yeah, we'll be like hens in hot girdles, as you like to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We will be practicing our disappointed faces. Yeah, they deserved it.
They deserved it.
Yeah.
Or our winning speech when we have to pretend that we like each other.
I'd like to thank my partner in the podcast, Dr. Lee Arnott. Hey ho.
Len, look after yourself.
You just crossed my line then.
For God's sake.
It's not mean.
Can we just say au reservoir?
Au reservoir.
Au reservoir. I'll get the last one in.
Always have to get the last word in.
Au reservoir, au reservoir, au reservoir. I hate you.